The way you spend your morning decides the quality of your entire day. If the morning is restless, the whole day is restless. If the morning is peaceful, the whole day feels balanced. And if the morning is aligned with God, then no matter how many storms come your way, you walk through them with strength. My friends, let me share with you how just 20 minutes in the morning can transform not only your day, but also the direction of your life. Every sunrise is a reminder from God that we are given one more chance. A chance to live better, to think better, to love better, and to rise higher. Yet most of us open our mornings with chaos, scrolling through messages, worrying about tasks, or rushing into the day without a moment of silence. We forget that the morning is not just a beginning of time, but a beginning of energy, a beginning of alignment. And if we dedicate just 20 minutes in the morning to align ourselves with God, to center our mind, body, and soul, the results are extraordinary. These 20 minutes are not just routine, they are an investment into the deepest strength we carry inside. And today, I want to share with you 7 ways to use those 20 minutes that will not only transform your mornings, but will also bring a powerful shift to your life. When you open your eyes in the morning, the first thought you entertain has the power to paint the canvas of your entire day. Imagine this: if the very first thing you do is pick up your phone and dive into messages, news, or worries, you are inviting chaos into your heart before the day has even begun. But if you pause, sit still for a few moments, and breathe in gratitude, you begin your day with the most powerful energy there is: thankfulness to God. Gratitude is not just a polite word we say before meals or a social habit we show to others. It is a sacred practice that shifts the very vibration of our life. It transforms lack into abundance, complaints into contentment, and restlessness into peace. When you wake up and say silently, "Thank you, God, for giving me another sunrise, another breath, another chance," you set your mind on a higher frequency that no negativity can easily disturb. Think about it. Every morning the sun rises without fail, even on days when clouds hide its light. That's how life is. Sometimes difficulties hide the blessings, but the blessings are always there, quietly shining behind the clouds of problems. Gratitude allows you to notice them. Have you ever seen how a person who practices gratitude seems lighter, calmer, and more radiant? It's because gratitude doesn't change the situation outside, it changes the perception inside. And perception is everything. 2 people can face the same morning, but one says, "Oh, I have so many problems." And the other says, "Oh, I have so many blessings." One carries heaviness, the other carries light. Gratitude is that choice, and the morning is the best time to make it. Let me share a simple example. Imagine someone wakes up, rushes out of bed, spills some tea on their shirt, and immediately mutters, "What a bad start! This is going to be a terrible day." Their energy spirals downward from that very moment. Another person spills tea, but pauses, takes a deep breath, and says, "Thank you, God, that I even have tea to drink, clothes to wear, and a new day to live." They changed the story. The situation didn't change, but their spirit did. And because their spirit changed, the way they meet the rest of the day changes too. When you begin with silence and gratitude, you are actually training your mind to notice the gifts that often go unnoticed. You begin to realize that the simplest things, your breath, the beating of your heart, the ability to see, hear, and feel, are all miracles. We often overlook them because they come free of cost. Yet, if we lost even one of these blessings, we would pay everything to get it back. Isn't it true that sometimes we don't appreciate health, until illness reminds us of its value. Gratitude saves us from this forgetfulness. It allows us to live fully aware of the present gift rather than waiting for loss to teach us. Science now also confirms what ancient wisdom always knew, that gratitude changes our brain, reduces stress, and increases joy. But beyond science, there is something even more beautiful. Gratitude aligns us with God. When we thank the giver, we not only honor the gift, but we also open ourselves to receive more. Gratitude is like opening the window of the heart. When it is closed, even sunlight cannot enter. But when you open it with thankfulness, you invite in light love and possibilities. Sometimes people say, "But how can I be grateful when life is hard?" The truth is, gratitude does not deny pain. It does not pretend that everything is perfect. Instead, gratitude gives you strength to see light even in the middle of darkness. Imagine someone walking through a desert with an empty bottle of water. They can curse the heat, complain about the dryness, and collapse under the weight of negativity. Or they can look at the half-filled bottle in their hand and say, "Thank you, God, for at least giving me this much water to carry me forward." That attitude alone can give them the courage to keep moving until they find the oasis. Gratitude doesn't erase struggle, but it gives you energy to walk through it. And so, my friends, what if tomorrow morning, when you wake up, instead of rushing, you simply sat still for 2 minutes? No phone, no noise, no rush. Just you, your breath, and a silent conversation with God. In that conversation, you don't ask for anything yet. You just say, "Thank you for this new day. Thank you for my family. Thank you for the lessons I learned yesterday. Thank you for the strength to face today." This small act will not take from you. It will add to you. It will make your heart feel lighter, your mind clearer, and your spirit more resilient. Life is too short to start mornings with complaints. The world will always have problems, but the one who practices gratitude carries an inner shield that protects them from being consumed by negativity. Gratitude makes you see not what is missing, but what is present. It makes you see not what is broken, but what is still whole. And most importantly, it reminds you that behind every breath, every sunrise, and every heartbeat, there is a divine hand, a God who continues to give, even when we forget to notice. So begin your mornings in silence and gratitude. These few minutes are not just a ritual, they are a revolution for your soul, because when you start your day by saying, "Thank you," the entire universe seems to whisper back, "You're welcome." When you wake up in the morning, there is one thing that is always with you, one gift that often goes unnoticed: the breath. We rarely think about it, yet it is the thread holding our life together. Without food, we can survive for weeks. Without water, a few days. But without breath, life slips away within minutes. Isn't it amazing that the very thing most essential to us is the very thing we ignore the most? Breath is not just oxygen entering and leaving the body, it is life force, it is energy, it is God's whisper flowing in and out of us every single moment. If you take even a few minutes each morning to connect with your breath, you will notice that you are connecting with life itself, and behind that life, with the source of all life, God. Have you ever noticed how your breath changes with your emotions? When you are angry, your breath becomes fast and heavy. When you are anxious, it becomes shallow and restless. And when you are calm, it becomes slow and deep. The breath mirrors the mind. But here lies the beautiful secret. Just as the mind affects the breath also affects the mind. By consciously slowing down your breath, you can slow down your thoughts. By deepening your breath, You can deepen your calmness. That means you are not a victim of your moods. You can actually guide them with the power of breath. Think of a time when you were nervous, maybe before a job interview, an exam, or even an important conversation. Your palms may have been sweaty, your heart racing, your thoughts scattered. What did someone likely tell you in that moment? Take a deep breath. Those 4 words are ancient wisdom hidden in plain sight. A deep breath tells the mind, you are safe. It anchors you to the present moment. It reminds you that while the outside world may be chaotic, inside you there is a rhythm that can remain steady. Many great traditions, both ancient and modern, have emphasized the sacredness of breath. Yogis call it prana, the life energy. Mystics describe it as the bridge between the body and the soul. Scientists now call it a regulator of stress and health. But beyond names and labels, the truth remains the same. Breath is the most direct connection we have with the divine within us. Each inhale is a gift given, each exhale a gift returned. When you take time in the morning to simply sit still and notice your breath, you begin to feel the quiet miracle of being alive. Let me share a simple daily example. Imagine someone wakes up and immediately rushes into the day, checking emails, preparing breakfast, worrying about deadlines. Their breath becomes fast, their shoulders tight, and stress builds even before the day truly begins. Now imagine another person who wakes up, sits near the window, closes their eyes for 3 minutes, and just breathes slowly, deeply, with awareness. They don't think about yesterday or tomorrow, only about this breath. Within minutes, their heartbeat settles, their mind clears, and they feel a sense of peace. Both individuals face the same world, but one carries anxiety, while the other carries balance. What made the difference? Just the awareness of breath. Breath is also a teacher. It teaches us impermanence because no breath can be held forever. It teaches us presence because you cannot breathe in the past or future. You can only breathe now. And it teaches us surrender because each exhale is a letting go. If you reflect on this, you'll realize that every breath is a miniature practice of life itself. Inhaling teaches us to receive, exhaling teaches us to release. Both are necessary. Life becomes heavy when we only want to hold on, and life becomes empty when we only want to let go. But in the balance of breath, there is wisdom. Receive what comes, release what must leave, and remain at peace in the flow of God's rhythm. Some may ask, but how does simply watching my breath transform my life? The answer is in the stillness it creates. A restless mind jumps from worry to worry, from task to task, never at peace. But when you anchor the mind in breath, you bring it home. Just a few minutes of this practice every morning makes the difference between reacting and responding. A reactive person is easily disturbed, but a responsive person carries inner strength. Breath is the tool that takes you from reactivity to resilience. Have you noticed how a tired worker, after a long day, sometimes sits back in their chair, closes their eyes, and sighs deeply? That sigh is the body's natural way of saying, release, reset, restart. Imagine if instead of waiting for exhaustion, you gave yourself that reset at the beginning of the day. Breathing with awareness in the morning is like charging your inner battery before the demands of the day drain it. You step into the world not empty, but full. There is also a spiritual beauty in connecting with breath. When you feel your inhale, you realize life is flowing in not by your effort but by grace. You do not have to remind yourself to breathe. God has already programmed that miracle for you. Recognizing this makes the simplest act sacred. It becomes prayer without words, worship without rituals. Every breath becomes a reminder that you are alive because of something greater than you, something that sustains you without asking for anything in return. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you engage in the noise, give yourself a gift. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, place one hand on your heart, and simply breathe. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. With each inhale, silently say, "Thank you." With each exhale, silently say, "I release." This practice will not just calm you for a few moments, it will shape the entire quality of your day. Breath is life. Breath is energy. Breath is God's silent reminder that you are never alone. If you connect with it, you connect with yourself. If you connect with yourself, you connect with the divine. And once you begin your day rooted in that connection, no challenge can shake you. No negativity can overpower you because you carry within you the steady rhythm of life itself. What we feed our mind in the morning is just as important as what we feed our body. If you give your body junk food first thing in the day, it will feel heavy, tired, and sluggish. In the same way, if the first thing your mind consumes is noise, gossip, or negativity, the spirit becomes restless and distracted. But if you feed your mind with wisdom, with thoughts that elevate, inspire, and connect you to God, you carry a kind of inner nourishment that sustains you throughout the day. The morning is like fresh soil, soft and ready for seeds. Whatever seeds you plant in that soil will grow into the fruits of your day. If you plant seeds of fear, anxiety, and comparison, that is what will bloom. If you plant seeds of wisdom, calmness, and strength, that is what will blossom in your actions, your speech, and your decisions. Think about the way many of us begin our mornings. The alarm rings, we pick up the phone, and immediately we scroll. News headlines of disasters, social media filled with comparison, messages that demand our energy. Before we even step out of bed, the mind is already carrying weight. This is like opening your window in the morning and letting dust and smoke enter instead of fresh air, and then we wonder why the day feels heavy. Instead, what if you opened your morning with a verse of wisdom, a line from a spiritual text, a few minutes of uplifting reading, or listening to words that connect you back to the eternal truths of life? Those words would act like rays of sunlight, breaking the darkness of the mind. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a student about to write an exam. One student walks into the hall after spending the morning worrying, listening to others complain, and feeding their mind with doubts. Another student walks in after reading something encouraging, reflecting on gratitude, and calming their breath. Both have studied, but one's mind is clouded while the other's mind is clear. Who do you think will perform better? Wisdom doesn't change the questions of life, but it changes the quality of the answers we give. Wisdom is not about filling the mind with information, it is about aligning the mind with truth. Information can tell you how to build a ship, but wisdom will tell you which direction to sail. Information can tell you how to earn money, but wisdom will tell you how to use it meaningfully. Information can tell you how to speak, but wisdom will teach you when to remain silent. Feeding your mind with wisdom in the morning sets the compass of your day. Without it, you may be active but lost, busy but directionless, awake but not truly alive. Have you ever met someone whose presence feels calm, steady, and uplifting? It is not because their life is free from problems. It is because their mind has been trained by wisdom. They have learned to see challenges as lessons, difficulties as growth, and blessings as gifts. That mindset does not come accidentally. It is cultivated like a garden. And the most fertile time to water this garden is in the morning, when the mind is still fresh and not yet clouded by the noise of the world. Feeding the mind with wisdom can be very simple. It may be reading a page from a book that inspires you, listening to a short talk that uplifts your spirit, or even reflecting silently on a truth you already know but forget in the business of life. For example, reflecting on the thought, "Nothing in this world is permanent. This too shall pass." Carrying that thought into your day will make you handle success with humility and failure with patience. Or reflecting on, "I am not in control of everything, but I am in control of how I respond." Carrying that thought will make you less reactive and more peaceful. These simple truths, when repeated every morning, act as anchors in the storms of life. Imagine your mind as a lamp. If you don't clean the glass, dust gathers and the light becomes dim. Wisdom is like wiping the glass every morning, so the inner light shines clearly. Without this cleaning, no matter how much effort you put into the day, the results will feel dull. But with wisdom, even small actions shine with clarity and purpose. I remember hearing the story of a farmer who had 2 fields. One morning, he decided to plant wheat in one and weeds in the other. But as days passed, he neglected the wheat field while the weeds grew wild. At harvest time, the wheat was weak and the weeds were strong. In the same way, our mind is a field. If you do not feed it wisdom, weeds of negativity, doubt, and fear will grow on their own. But when you take time in the morning to water the seeds of truth, the fruits of peace and strength grow naturally. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind? Am I pouring in noise and distraction? Or am I filling it with wisdom that lifts me higher? Even a few minutes of wisdom is enough to create a shift. Just as a single ray of sunlight can break the darkness of a room, one line of wisdom can change the mood of your entire day. The world will always try to feed your mind with countless distractions, but the choice of what you allow in is yours. Feed your mind with wisdom every morning, and you will see how your life transforms. Problems will not disappear, but your perspective will. Success will not intoxicate you, and failure will not break you. You will walk through your day with a calm heart, a clear mind, and a soul aligned with God. That is the power of beginning your mornings with wisdom. It is not just mental food, it is spiritual nourishment, a connection to truth that makes you stronger than any circumstance. Every day is like a blank page, and the way you begin to write on it shapes the story that will unfold. Too often, people wake up and let the world write their story for them. They react to demands, deadlines, and distractions without ever pausing to ask themselves, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? But when you start your morning by setting an intention with God, you are no longer drifting like a leaf in the wind. You are choosing the direction of your sail. You are deciding with clarity and with faith how you want to move through the day. Not by chance, but by purpose. Setting a daily intention is not about controlling everything that happens. Life will still bring surprises, challenges, and moments you didn't expect. But intention is about preparing your inner world so that no matter what comes, you respond from a place of alignment. Think of it like tuning an instrument. If a guitar is out of tune, no matter how well you play, the sound will be harsh. But if it is tuned first, even simple notes sound beautiful. The mind and soul are the same. When you align them with intention in the morning, everything you do during the day carries harmony. Imagine 2 people walking into the same office. One person wakes up, rushes, checks emails, complains about traffic, and walks in with a heavy cloud of irritation. The other person wakes up, sits quietly for a few minutes, and sets an intention. Today I will carry patience. I will remember to breathe before reacting, and I will look for the good in people. Both face the same colleagues, the same workload, and the same problems. But their experience is completely different. One lives as a victim of circumstances, the other lives as a creator of energy. The difference is not in the world around them, but in the intention they carried from the morning. When you set an intention with God, it is not only your will you are engaging, it is divine guidance you are inviting. You are saying, God, this is the energy I wish to hold today. Please guide me to stay true to it. This simple inner prayer becomes a compass that reminds you where to return whenever you drift. Without an intention, your mind is like a traveler without a map, easily lost in every turn. With intention, you may still face detours, but you always know the direction you are meant to walk. Let's take an example from daily life. Suppose your morning intention is, today I will practice kindness. Throughout the day, you will find opportunities where this intention is tested. Maybe when someone cuts you off in traffic, when a colleague speaks harshly, or when you feel tired. In those moments, the old habit of irritation may rise, but then you remember your morning promise. You take a breath and choose kindness over anger. That small act may not change the world outside, but it changes your inner world. And very often it softens the world around you too. One kind word can cool down another's temper. One gentle act can inspire another's heart. And all of this began with a simple intention made in the morning. Intentions also have the power to bring clarity. Many people live scattered lives, running in many directions without knowing what truly matters. But if you start your day with the intention, today I will focus on what is meaningful, you begin to prioritize. Instead of being lost in endless tasks, you place energy where it truly counts, on relationships, on growth, on service, on peace. Without this clarity, days blur into each other, filled with activity but empty of depth. With intention, every day becomes purposeful, even if the actions are small. There is a beautiful truth here. Intention creates alignment, and alignment creates peace. When your thoughts, words, and actions move in the same direction, there is no inner conflict. You are not pulled in 1,000 ways, you are steady. For example, if you intend to be grateful, and you keep reminding yourself of this throughout the day, then even small irritations cannot rob you of peace. Your outer world may shake, but your inner compass holds you steady. Some may ask, but what if I forget my intention during the day? That's natural. We all forget. But here is the beauty of setting it in the morning. It becomes like a gentle echo in your heart. Even if you drift, the echo calls you back. Suppose you lose patience in traffic and raise your voice, but then you remember, my intention was patience today. That reminder helps you take a breath, calm down, and try again. Intention is not about perfection, it is about direction. It is not about never falling, it is about remembering to stand up and realign. Think of it like a traveler walking towards a mountain. The path may curve, the weather may change, sometimes they may stumble. But as long as they keep the mountain in sight, they will reach it. In the same way, your daily intention is the mountain you fix your eyes on. It reminds you where to walk, even if life pulls you sideways. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before you touch your phone or rush into the day, close your eyes for a few moments. Place your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what do I wish to carry into this day? It could be peace, patience, gratitude, strength, compassion, or clarity. Then silently offer it to God. Guide me today to live with this intention. As you step into the day, carry that prayer with you. Repeat it when challenges rise. Whisper it when your energy dips. Remember it when choices appear. That single intention will become the golden thread running through your entire day, weaving peace, meaning, and strength into everything you do. Life is too precious to live on autopilot. Each day is a gift, and each morning is a chance to decide how to live it. When you set a daily intention with God, you are not just living another ordinary day. You are living with awareness, with purpose, and with grace. And when your days are lived with intention, your life becomes a masterpiece, painted stroke by stroke with the colors of clarity, love, and divine guidance. The body is the sacred vessel through which we experience this life. Every thought, every action, every connection we have in this world is lived through this body. Yet most of us forget its value until it begins to ache, fall ill, or grow weary. We spend our mornings rushing it into routine, quick showers, hurried breakfasts, endless tasks, without pausing to honor it as the divine gift it truly is. But if in the morning we move the body with awareness, even for a few minutes, we awaken not only our muscles but also our spirit. Movement becomes more than exercise, it becomes gratitude in action, a way of saying, "Thank you, God, for this body that carries me through life." Think about how the body feels when it wakes up after hours of stillness. The joints are stiff, the muscles tight, the circulation slow. It is like a river that has been dammed, waiting to flow. When you stretch gently, breathe deeply, or walk mindfully, you release that energy. Blood flows more freely. Oxygen spreads to every cell, and suddenly you feel awake, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Isn't it true that on days when you skip movement, your energy remains dull? But on days when you walk, stretch, or even dance for a few minutes, your entire outlook feels lighter. That is the hidden power of moving with awareness. Awareness is the key. Many people move their bodies, but they do it mechanically, without attention, as though ticking off a task. The deeper transformation happens when you move consciously, when every stretch is done with gratitude, every step with mindfulness. Imagine bending forward, and instead of just stretching your muscles, you whisper inwardly, "Thank you for the strength in my back." Or as you walk, you become aware of the miracle of your legs, carrying you forward, something so simple that many long for but cannot do. Suddenly, movement is not about burning calories or chasing fitness goals. It is about honoring the divine intelligence that designed this body so intricately. There is a saying, if you don't make time for your health, you will be forced to make time for your illness. How true this is. We often ignore the body until it cries out in pain. But when we begin the morning by moving with awareness, we prevent so much suffering. A few minutes of stretching prevents stiffness. A few minutes of mindful walking prevents heaviness. A few minutes of breathing with posture prevents fatigue. The body responds to love the way a plant responds to sunlight. Quietly, naturally, beautifully. Let me share a simple picture from daily life. Imagine someone who wakes up, drags themselves out of bed, and slouches into their day. Their body is heavy, their mind foggy, their energy low. Now imagine another person who spends just 10 minutes moving, stretching the spine, rotating the shoulders, taking slow mindful steps. Their blood flows, their posture lifts, their breath deepens. They face the same day, but one feels burdened while the other feels light. The difference is not luck, the difference is awareness. The body and mind are deeply connected. When the body moves, the mind moves too. Stagnation in the body creates stagnation in thought. But when you move, blockages open and fresh ideas come. Have you noticed how some of your best ideas arrive while walking, running, or simply stretching? It is because the flow of the body invites the flow of thoughts. That is why many great thinkers and spiritual leaders made walking a daily practice. They understood that moving with awareness is not just physical, it is also mental and spiritual renewal. Movement with awareness also teaches humility. When you bend forward and feel the limits of your body, you are reminded that strength has boundaries. When you stretch and realize how much more flexible you can become, you are reminded that growth is always possible. The body becomes a teacher, showing us patience, discipline, and surrender. Every